All right, so today I'm going to be taking you through my new MEINL cymbals setup. I got the old stuff here on the kit, but I got this box of new stuff that MEINL sent over. So today I'm going to give you a tour of my setup. We'll look at the old stuff, the essentials that I've been using the last several years. We'll look at the special sauce that I break out for special occasions. And then we'll look at some of the new stuff. Woo! Woo! Yeah, so let's get into it. So first of all, let's check out the old stuff. This is the classic tried and true, cannot live without cymbals that I've been using for the last several years. So what we've got over here, first of all, is the 16-inch Byzance extra dry medium thin hi-hats. They're very big and chunky. The Byzance cymbals have a distinct sound, especially the extra dry versions, which is like a subgroup of the Byzance series. And for me, that's really what sold me on MEINL so many years ago. So these are the hi-hats, nice and chunky, 16-inch. Love them. Next up, I've got the matching ride cymbal. This is a 22-inch Byzance extra dry thin ride. This is my baby. This is a beautiful cymbal. You can use it as a crash, you can use it as a ride, and that's kind of how I would use it in this setup, which is kind of minimal, not very many cymbals here. Since I've only got one true crash cymbal, it's really nice to have a crashable ride here as well to complement that. I also like that this has a nice clear bell. So that was kind of another selling point for me. To my left, I've got the 18-inch Jazz extra thin crash, also a Byzance cymbal. I love this crash cymbal, probably my favorite crash cymbal, second maybe only to the 20-inch extra dry thin crash, which I just got this week. That might become my new favorite, but this is an extremely versatile cymbal. It responds equally well to a soft touch and can take a heavy beating. The decay on the cymbal is quite short, which I like. It's great because you just hit the crash, you get the accent, and then it gets out of the way so that the music can speak. And then this is my stack. And what I have is actually two of the same cymbal. It's a Classics Custom Trash Splash. It's a 12-inch. Except that one has been flipped inside out. It's not gonna break, it's very thick. I wouldn't recommend doing that with other cymbals. I mean, for these small ones, it's okay. One time, this ride cymbal got popped inside out after a flight. That was a little sketchy, but I was able to pop it back. But that was kind of terrifying because you never know with these big cymbals. Anyway, I wouldn't recommend that for most cymbals, but for this one, I haven't had any issues. So this gives me that nice short staccato sound. I can kind of use it as a second hi-hat. I should mention that MEINL sells a Classics Custom Trash Stack, which is basically the same thing, but with an actual China cymbal as the bottom, and they just sell that as a unit. It's like a matched pair, and that way you don't have to be flipping cymbals inside out. In fact, I just got one of the larger ones, the 16 inches, so we'll look at that in a bit, but that's probably a better option. Honestly, I think I just didn't know that the trash stack existed when I bought this, so I ended up with two of the top cymbals. Moving on to the secret sauce. These are a couple other cymbals that I've used for special occasions. The first one would be this ride cymbal here. This is a flat ride cymbal, which means it's flat, it doesn't have a bell. I really like using this cymbal in a jazz context, maybe a jazz trio, piano trio type situation. It's got a lot of stick articulation, so you can play really, really fast rhythms and everything is crystal clear. It's got a very particular sound, so I don't use it for everything, but when you need this sound, there's no replacement for it. Moving on, I've got this 20-inch Byzance extra thin hammered crash. It's big enough that you could possibly use it as a ride cymbal, and I have done that before, but it does get a bit washy. It's primarily a crash. The last item in my special sauce bucket, that makes me feel uncomfortable, are these mini hi-hats, which are comprised of a Byzance dark splash on top and a classics high bell on the bottom, both 8-inch. And I believe that these were the predecessors to the Benny Greb mini hi-hats, the crasher hi-hats I think they're called. This is what he was using before that, I believe. And then this bell, I typically just use on drums. Like I would set it on the snare drum and play it like that. And if you've got multiple bells, things can get really interesting. All right, that's it for the old stuff. Let's check out some new stuff. Ooh. Foundry Reserve. This must be the ride cymbal that I ordered. Oh, look at that. Come on, it has gloves and sticks. Wow, that's nice. That's cool. Should we do this properly? Let's put the gloves on. That is fancy. Woo. That is a beautiful cymbal. Wow. These are MEINL's top shelf cymbals, the finest stuff that they make. They are handmade in Turkey. They come with gloves. They are simply a piece of art. And I'm not saying this because MEINL told me to. They didn't tell me to make this video. I'm just doing it because I'm having fun. So it's very much a treat to have one of these cymbals in my collection. This is a really nice pair with these jazz hi-hats. And pairing with this 20-inch extra dry crash. Woo! This one was a priority for me. This is the Classics Custom Trash Stack, and it's a bigger version of this stack I have here. I wanted something that would kind of sound like a backbeat, almost like an electronic snare. So I ended up going with the 16-inch Classics Custom Trash Stack, and I think it sounds awesome. So since this is also a Classics Custom Trash Stack, like my mini 12-inch one over here, it matches really well with the stack sounds that I've already got on the kit. So this is comprised of basically a trash crash on top and a china on the bottom, but it comes as a pair. This will be nice and trashy. So the next thing I want to check out are these hi-hats. These are the Byzance Jazz Thin hi-hats, 14-inch. They kind of belong to a similar family as these hi-hats over here, but they're 14s instead of 16s. So a little bit smaller, a little bit more reasonable. All right. It's been a while since I've played 14-inch hi-hats. These feel tiny to me. Ooh, 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 that's nice. That's real nice. This has been working out really, really well for the jazzier stuff. Sometimes those 16-inch hats can be a little bit overbearing, so this is a much more controlled sound, but still buttery smooth. One of the things that I ordered that was a priority for me was a good china cymbal, because at the moment I actually don't have any china cymbals. So I went for the biggest and baddest of them all. That is the 20-inch Equilibrium china, the Matt Garska Special. This thing is a beast. That is so ridiculous. I love it. Big ass stand for a big ass cymbal. If this doesn't summon the metal gods, I don't know what will. Wow. Wow. That thing looks scary. Looks loud. I'm afraid to hit it. Yeah, that thing really opens up when you hit it hard, which is, I guess, what you're going to be doing with a cymbal like this. That's just ridiculous. So sick. Continuing with the metal side of things, I also wanted to dabble in some big nasty stacks. Not that I don't already have enough stacks on this kit, but I don't have a big one. So I figured I should get a big one, and I did that by stacking two trash crashes. One is the vintage trash crash, and the other is the extra dry trash crash. Both 18 inches, both sound fantastic on their own, but they sound even better together. Woo! Hey, that sounds cool. Speaking of metal, I wanted to have some really nice, bright rock hats. So I got these traditional medium hats, and these are more of a traditional rock sound. So if I need something brighter, something heavier, then these should do the job. So these are like rock hats. Those sound awesome, actually. For a long time, I used just a bare bones kit, not very much gear, and so I would try and get a lot of sounds out of a small amount of equipment, and I think that's a good kind of philosophy to have. But I think in some situations, it's nice to have the thing that does one thing really, really well. So if I was playing metal stuff, which I do from time to time, these would be the hats. The next cymbal in my setup is the 18-inch Byzance Extra Dry Dual Crash. Dual because it has two surfaces. Part of the cymbal has been lathed and part of it has been left raw, and this results in, well, I don't know how it works, but it results in it sounding awesome. We've got one crash left. It is the 20-inch Extra Dry Thin Crash. This is one that, when I was looking at all the MEINL videos, this cymbal kept coming up over and over and over. And I kept saying, oh man, what is that one? That one sounds good. I want that one.
Oh man.
That might be my favorite one so far. It sounds really nice when you play it softly. Don't have to hit it very hard. All right, last one of the day. This is, I think, probably going to be a very special cymbal. This is a monophonic ride. You know, speaking of having different cymbals for specific situations, whereas these are going to cover the rock end of things, this is going to cover a really jazz situation. That's the thing with jazz. The ride cymbal is like the key to the drummer's sound. So it's nice to have several different rides, and you know, big cymbals are great for jazz as well because they're very expressive. That is a beautiful cymbal. It reminds me a little bit of this one ride cymbal I had. It's the one cymbal that I regret selling in my life. It was a really unique cymbal. It was like a prototype you couldn't like buy in the store, and it was a very cool cymbal, and it reminds me of this one. So I'm really happy to have this one here. That is a very beautiful, nice cymbal. That is it for the setup. Thank you so much to Chris and everyone at MEINL for making all this possible. I will put a link in the description to my artist profile, which has my old setup. It won't have all the new stuff I just unboxed here, but it does have my kind of standard old setup. I'm sure some of this is going to be making it into my standard setup in the future, but in any case, I will write the names of all the cymbals that you heard here in the video description, so you can find them if you like what you hear. And yeah, that's it for this video. So thank you all so much for watching, and let's listen to some more cymbals.